This video presents the rise and fall of the Athenian Empire. Ancient Athens dominated the ancient world in the 5th century BC and became the philosophical, scientific, and artistic center of the developed world. How did Athens accomplish that, and what stopped the development of the city? Let's find out. The democracy and the alliance. There were two main reasons that led to the development and domination of Athens in the 5th century BC. The first was the new model of state governance, the democracy, which was inspired and first applied in ancient Athens. The second was the Athenian alliance, which turned the city into the undisputed ruler of Greece. The governance model. Athenian democracy was a unique model of political organization, and 2,500 years on, it is still a wonderful and functional model of direct democracy. You can learn more about this unique model of governance and the political institutions of the city-state of Athens in the video The Athenian Democracy Explained, link in the description of the video. The participation of all citizens of Athens, the democratic institutions, and the freedom of expression made the city the biggest scientific and cultural center of that period. It also became the home of the most famous ancient Greek philosophers, scientists, poets, and artists like Plato, Socrates, Aeschylus, and Sophocles. The foundations of the Athenian democracy laid by Clisthenes followed the path set by Solon a few years before. The maturation of this new concept of governance lasted about 200 years. It was a process that emerged through tyranny, social unrest, and intellectual rise. You can find more on that period in the video The Maturation of the Athenian Democracy, link in the description of the video. The democracy resulted in the emergence of the most intelligent and inventive leaders like Miltiades, Themistocles, Aristides, Cimon, and Pericles. A natural consequence of the economic, political, and cultural development of Athens was its hegemony over the other developed Greek city-states like Sparta, Corinth, and Thebes, and the military victory over the Persian Empire after the defeat of the Persians in the Battle of Marathon, 490 BC, the naval Battle of Salamis, 480 BC, and the Battle of Plataea, 479 BC. The Athenian alliance. After the defeats of the Persians and the liberation of the occupied Greek city-states, Athens enjoyed strong economic growth and possessed the strongest naval force that controlled the trade routes of the Aegean and the Mediterranean Sea. The Athenians became the natural leaders of all Greek city-states previously troubled by the Persians. In 478/7 BC, on the initiative of the Athenian general Aristides, the first Athenian alliance was formed. It was also known as the Delian League or Delian Union. The military successes of the alliance liberated all the Greek cities of Asia Minor from the Persians. With the creation of the alliance, Athens assumed a leading role. Within a few years, the city had become the absolute ruler and manager of the alliance's financial resources, which came from the taxation of its members. During Pericles' period, along with the city growth, this role was strengthened and the alliance was transformed into an Athenian hegemony. At the peak of its power, the alliance was dominant throughout the Aegean. It is known that there were about 400 members by 425 BC. The fall of Athens. During the glorious path of Athens, the city was in constant confrontation with the rival city-state in Greece, Sparta. Sparta was a warrior society. Spartan culture was centered on loyalty to the state and military service. At age 7, Spartan boys entered a rigorous state-sponsored education, military training, and socialization program. Known as the agoge, the system emphasized duty, discipline, and endurance. Although Spartan women were not active in the military, they were educated and enjoyed more status and freedom than other Greek women. Because Spartan men were professional soldiers, all manual labor was done by a slave class, the HELOTS. During Athens' growth, Sparta had formed her own alliance, consisting of other city-states of the Peloponnesus, known as the Peloponnesian League. In 431 BC, one of the fiercest wars between the Greeks, known as the Peloponnesian War, broke out. The two rivals, Athens and Sparta, were the most powerful city-states in ancient Greece at the time. This war shifted power from Athens to Sparta, making Sparta the most powerful city-state in the region. The war lasted in total 27 years and featured two periods of combat separated by a 6-year truce, Peace of Nicaeas. The Peloponnesian War. Athens and Sparta were in constant conflict for decades. In 449 BC, Athens had signed the Treaty of Callias and had ended hostilities with Sparta. But one of Sparta's allies, Corinth, had directly engaged the Athenian army. As a Spartan ally, Corinth resumed hostilities toward Athens when Athens threatened Corinth's interests in the region surrounding Corcyra. This eventually drew Sparta into the conflict. The Spartan army began by raiding lands in Attica. The Athenians had built walls stretching from their seaport to the city of Athens. The walls helped protect Athens from direct assault, and Pericles urged Athens not to engage in direct land battles with the Spartans. Instead, the Athenians used their navy to deliver troops into the Spartan territory who conduct raids on settlements. After years of open warfare, Sparta offered peace and Athens accepted. The agreement was made official with the signing of the Peace of Nicaeas. The treaty stated that Athens and Sparta would defend each other for the next 50 years. However, the treaty only lasted 6. Hostilities resumed with an assault launched by the Athenians at Sicily. Sparta decided to retaliate. Learning from its past experiences with the Athenian navy, they established a fleet of warships. It would be another decade of warfare before the Spartan general Lysander defeated the Athenian fleet at Aegospotami. This defeat led to the Athenian surrender and the domination of Sparta in Greece. The rise of a new military force. The devastating confrontation with Sparta lasted 27 years, destroying both adversaries and ending in 404 BC with the Pyrrhic victory of Sparta. Pyrrhic victory is a victory that comes at the expense of great losses or costs. It literally means that the winner had to go through fire to succeed in his victory. During the Peloponnesian War, the Athenians continued their plans to invest in the Acropolis and managed to build the Erechtheion and the Temple of Athena Nike. However, the fierce confrontation between the two forces had a consequence neither had imagined: the rise of a new military force, Macedonia. Philip II, leader of the Kingdom of Macedonia, came to dominate Greece after a military victory over the Athenians at Chaeronea in 338 BC. In 336 BC, Philip was assassinated by his bodyguard Pausanias and was succeeded by his son, a student of Aristotle, Alexander the Great. In 334 BC, the Greeks under this charismatic general took full advantage of the Macedonian phalanx and began their legendary campaign that created one of the biggest empires of human history. If you want to extend your research, have a look to the description of the video for more links and sources. Did you like this video? Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to support our channel.